Hey everyone, today, my healthy recipe today is going to be a healthy version of a Swiss and button mushroom burger. So I got some beef here, I got some lean meat. It's 85% lean with about 15% fat, two slices of low calorie Swiss cheese. I got some little tiny Yukon mushrooms, not mushrooms, potatoes. I don't know why I can't speak apparently. And then I'm going to be using a potato bun. If you haven't tried a potato bun, I highly recommend it. Honestly, kind of hard for me to go back. Excuse the cable on the cheese. They're so good, very tasty. And then we got a little thing of button mushrooms. So I basically got everything from the store except for the beef. I'm currently housing for my sister and brother-in-law while they're on their anniversary trip. And they actually left me some ground beef from a leftover HelloFresh dinner that they had. But I bought everything else from the store. These are just regular potato buns. You know, it doesn't have to be a certain brand or anything. Same with the cheese, as long as it's like a low calorie or what's the word? Low fat. Low fat is what I mean to say. Swiss cheese, just a few mushrooms or potatoes, not mushrooms, for like little potato wedges, and then the shroom part of a shroom and Swiss burger. So yeah, let's get started. All right, so first things first, what you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to take your mushrooms and you're going to want to slice them up. It can be as thin or as thick as you want them to be. Just comes down to personal preference, whether you want some like extra thickness like this one. This one was a pretty thick cut that I did. This one was a lot better, a lot more thin. Do as many as you want. Me personally, I think mushrooms are okay. I'm not going to add too much to the burgers, but use as many as you want. This was about 3 mushrooms from the package. So now that we're done with that, we're gonna go ahead and just prep the meat. Season it, form the patties real fast, and yeah. So I already went ahead and added some salt and pepper to this. However, I'm just going to add a little bit more just to get it on the camera. So yeah, salt and pepper. I'm weird. I like to include a little bit of onion and garlic powder. As you can see, we got some onion powder. Just for a little added... Ooh, that was a little too much. Oh well, it'll get spread out throughout the mixing process of the meat. I unfortunately don't have any garlic powder, so onion powder is going to have to do. So let's get these folded up and rolled into a ball. Alrighty, now once you've got your patties formed to the shape that you want them, I like doing smash burgers, so that's why I form them into a little ball. You can form them into a regular patty if you'd like, but for me, this is just what I prefer to do. I've also went ahead and cut up some of those little potatoes. I did about 2 of them. I'm not really hungry at the moment, so I don't need anything too major. I say as I make 2 burgers, one for to eat tonight, and then I can just save the other for a lunch tomorrow. So I went ahead and sliced the potatoes. I went ahead and sliced the mushrooms. I grabbed a little skillet right here. I coated the insides with a little bit of olive oil. I didn't use too much, just a slight light drizzle around it. Used a paper towel to kind of help spread it around. You don't want to use too much to where it's kind of defeating the purpose of it being healthy. So just a little bit, and then use a paper towel to roll it around and help it stick. And now that once you got everything set up, we're going to go ahead and get the burgers cooking real quick. All right, so while the burgers start to cook, you have plenty of time to quickly put these potatoes in a little bowl. We're going to do a little bit more olive oil on these for the seasoning. For the seasoning, I like to just do a little bit of salt, pepper, cayenne pepper not cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, and a little bit of cayenne pepper, actually, just for a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of a heat. That's just me. You can season these however you want. I know some people will do like sea salt. For me, I'm just kind of keeping it simple. Salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, paprika. And let's start seasoning. Just shake it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be too much. There's no such thing as too much or too little, depending on the person making them. You know, it all kind of comes down on personal preference. Oh, forgot to get the, where is it? Cayenne pepper. I have to slowly pop that off. Because it's the little edge, part right there is a little complicated. To do an easy pour, you kind of just got to tap it around just a smidgen. Like that. Put the cap aside, and then let me get my smoked paprika. Same thing. Ooh, you're gonna have to be extra careful on this. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now we're just gonna kind of like mix it around in the little mix, get it all nice and coated evenly. That way, there's you don't bite into a potato and you're like, wow, there's no flavor to this. I'm not gonna really cook the mushrooms. I'm a little weird. I don't like it when the mushrooms are cooked with the burger. I think that adds a little bit extra flavor when they're uncooked, in my opinion. But you do you. And look at that. We got the burger starting to finally get cooked. The skillet's heated up enough on there. And we're still just mixing this up. All right. Once you think you've mixed these up and kind of like seasoned these enough, we're going to go ahead and just focus on the burgers for right now. So while these patties aren't perfectly smashed, considering that the size of the original utensil I was going to use was too big for these, you can kind of already see that these are starting to brown a little bit at the bottom. Just kind of let them sit there, do their thing for a couple of minutes. You know, I'm going to cook mine about medium well. Just a little bit of pink to where the juices kind of just soak up in the food. It tastes phenomenal that way, in my opinion. So, yep, just going to let these sit, kind of let them do its thing. Cook them for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, however long you want. Personal preference is all up to you. So while these are going to cook, I'm going to go ahead and put these potatoes in the oven and let these bake. So like an idiot, I forgot to set the oven to 450 for the potatoes. So while that's heating up, as you can see, I've kind of already flipped these patties a little bit. I'm going to flip them periodically. Ooh, you can hear that sizzle. So that way they don't get stuck on one side and burn too much. Ooh. See me pushing down on that, you can see a little bit of that juice coming out. Obviously gonna cook these for a little bit longer, but you know, it's really simple. It's basically just cooking burgers, flipping burgers, really. Something I'm used to, sadly. So while these are cooking, the oven is gonna be preheating to 450 for the potatoes. I added a little bit extra cayenne pepper to these because I like a little spice to them. So when we come back, I'll have these burgers done, and then I'll have the potatoes in the oven. And I'll show you how to prepare the burger, or like the cheese and the bun and whatnot. Also, the only way to correctly eat a burger is to cook the buns. So now that the patties are done, I went ahead, or I'm putting the buns where the burgers were cooked, so that way it kind of absorbs some of that extra juice for that extra flavor. And you know what? I'll probably do the same with the mushrooms. I know earlier I said that I wasn't going to cook these, but I just realized, like, you know what? These are going to absorb all of the remaining juices that these buns don't get, so we might as well just cook these as well. All right, once we got the patties or the buns toasted to your preferred, you know, toasty level, we're going to go ahead and just toss these mushrooms in here, cooking at about a medium temperature setting. Don't want to scorch everything. So go ahead and do that. You know, ooh, those smell good. These smell great. So these are going to pretty much absorb the remaining flavor from the burgers that the patty, or that the, why do I keep calling them patties, that the buns didn't get. So we're going to let this do its thing, and then the oven is still preheating for the potatoes. So basically, when these mushrooms are done, we're waiting on the potatoes, and that'll be it. All right, so once we kick our little co-chef right here out of the kitchen, and co-chef other two can leave, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, I don't want you to get burnt. No, go. Go, Boone. We're going to go ahead and pop these potatoes into the top rack. Sorry for covering the camera for a second. Just going to pop these on some parchment paper. Actually, you know what? We're not going to do top rack. Where are the little... Actually, you know what? No, top rack should be fine. I was a little worried about the parchment paper catching fire, but it's meant to be cooked. Cooked on. So we'll just kind of periodically check on it, make sure that we're not starting an accidental house fire. Just like that. We're going to cook those for about 20-25 minutes. So yeah. Hi. Yes, you just want to be a part of the show. No, don't eat whatever it was, okay? Same with you. Alrighty, it's been about 10 minutes now since the potatoes were thrown in, and it sounds like the screams of the eternally doomed are in this oven, apparently. So we're going to let them cook for another 5-10 minutes. That way they can get fully cooked. Wow, they are loud. But we got the mushrooms off the skillet, and we got the burger mostly assembled. I had the buns on there, so that way the cheese would kind of melt a little bit. Probably gonna just kind of heat it in the microwave for just like 30 seconds, so that way it stays a little warm, as well as melt the cheese. And then once these potatoes are done, our dish will be complete. Alright, so I think I might have overcooked these a little. Ooh, yeah. Yikes. These are gonna be a little overcooked on mine. Actually, no, these are perfect. These are pretty good. They're not as bad as I thought they were. I'll probably do a second batch off camera, but you kind of get the gist. I'm surprised that these weren't even more scorched. And then just before I took these out, I applied a little bit of Dijon mustard, honey Dijon mustard to the burgers. It's a low fat. I don't remember the brand. All I know is I got from Winco. The Winco off in Orangeville. But basically, everything is done. We got the burgers with the sauce on there. We got the potatoes. And we got the mushrooms. So yeah, that is my healthy recipe.